What is going on, Falafel League members? We are here on another Sunday morning with Sidski. I hope you all have your coffee ready. Week 15, the semifinals. Last year, this was a very exciting time for me. This year, it's a very stressful time for me, so I hope that everybody that has made it thus far is excited, happy with their team, ready to get going. We are going to go through all three Falafel Leagues here, so we are going to not waste any more time and get right into it. So these semifinals for Falafel are set. It is 1 seed Tram versus 4 seed Wally Central, and 3 seed The Ghost of the Hype versus 7 seed Eagles Nation. So two of those guys are going to be moving on to the finals. Tram still looking for vindication from last year, and all these other guys, first time finals appearance for all the three of them if they make it. So as for relegation, I'm not relegated yet. I won last week, so I've staved off relegation yet another week, and because of how things sit in the matchups, no one is going to be relegated this week. It is not going to be decided until the end of week 16, but the games that matter for relegation this week are P. Dolo versus L-Dog. Very important for me. One of those guys is going to be getting a loss. And then me versus Gio, who with Bilal Pal last night thought I was getting off to a good start, but fucking Jarvis Landry could not let me have one good night's sleep this entire season. So, like I said, no one's going to be relegated this week. If I lose this week and P. Dolo wins, he will be safe from relegation and it will come down to me and L-Dog, but there are a lot of different scenarios, so we're going to see how this week plays out. For the rest of you, you're playing in games that don't mean shit, so good for you. Hope you had a fun season. Final 2 weeks of the year should be fun, and we look forward to hanging out with you guys a lot during the off season. As for Falafel Jr., again, congratulations to all of you that won or moved on, or Gates, who got to spend his first week in the playoffs on a bye. We've got 1 seed Gates versus 4 seed GA17, and 2 seed Showcase versus 6 seed Corey. So a bunch of very worthy guys for the most part, and one step closer, making your way up into Falafel. So as for Falafel relegation, ESPN is retarded, and instead of moving Prophet, who lost his game last week, down into the consolation bracket to help fill out all the games, Prophet for some reason is now on a bye, and M Silver is also on a bye this week. So I'm okay with it for the one simple fact that Money Martins was on his bye last week, and since the relegation is coming down to the two of them alone, it's okay that they're evening out. What we're going to do for next week is, if it's necessary, we are going to have it be a head-to-head matchup between Money Martins and M Silver for relegation, regardless of whatever the ESPN says your matchup. In our heads, we will be playing M Silver versus Money Martins, so we'll be talking about that a lot. Going forward, Money Martins versus Slime Sucking Hogs is the important game for him. I believe if Money Martins loses this game, it won't matter. So, but we will have to check it all out and go into next year. Like I said, next season, no bye weeks for Falafel Jr., which is going to mean that only 6 teams out of 14 are going to be making the playoffs. 8 teams are going to miss out. We don't do more than 50% making the playoffs. It's a rule of mine, so unfortunately, that's how it is. So for the rest of you, you are off for the season. Hope you had fun. Good luck going forward, and your status in Falafel Jr. would be evaluated in the off season, because you all know participation a very, very large requirement, and yeah, don't know if everybody lived up to that this year, so we shall see. As for Falafel Jr., we've got the team of Darth Paikai and DJM, who was the last members inducted into Falafel this season. The 1 seed versus 4 seed Go Pack Go, and 2 seed JJ Knight versus 6 seed Dead Duck, who just squeaked into the playoffs the final week of the season and is now on a tear. So going forward, it's going to be one of those teams going to be moving forward up into Falafel Jr. So very, very exciting. As for relegation, Niktar staves off and stays yet another week. He beats S. Ramir to keep his chances alive, although Fantasy Insider, he does win his game, so he is no longer a candidate for relegation. So it's going to come down to 3 teams. It's going to be Niktar, CB, and S. Ramir. Niktar is playing Mr. Meeseeks this week. CB is playing S. Ramir. It's going to be tough for Niktar to stave off this relegation without winning his last 2 games, and S. Ramir losing his last 2 games to overtake record. Based on points, I'm not sure if he can make up the points deficit, So I think his best chance is to win his next 2 games and hope S. Ramir loses his next 2 games and S. Ramir takes over as the worst record in the league. So there it is, full falafel rundown. We've only got 2 videos left. Next week I'll be setting up the championship game on Christmas morning. And then the week after that we'll be crowning champions, crowning relegated falafel members and inducting them into their new league. And that's it. So hope you all have a safe and happy Christmas, and I will talk to you guys next week. Good luck to everyone but Geo, and I don't care who loses in the L-Dog P-Dolo game. Fuck you both. Later.